All right, guys, here we go. Um, Trying some different stuff again. Looks like, oh yeah. So, trying some different stuff again. Um, I'm gonna maybe talk a little more and play a little less on this one. Um, and yeah, just to kind of see what uh, what we can get going on here. Sorry, I'm still kind of messing around with stuff. Um, and trying to get some stuff correct. Obviously, still not quite right. Anyways, we are gonna uh, just kind of talk about practice and what's been going on this week in terms of playing the guitar, playing the bass. It's Friday, so for me that means lesson night. Um, And I definitely, as I've said before, really like the lessons. The lessons are super helpful. Wouldn't be getting anywhere near where I am without them. It's definitely something uh, that I'm going to continue doing. I'm going to keep doing as long as I can, you know. Um Excuse me. I'm going to keep doing them as long as I can. There's always something that you get out of them every week. Even when you walk in the door in a week like this, and it's been kind of a long week, a lot of stuff going on, and didn't really practice the stuff that Ross wanted me to practice over the week. Um, and so I'm working on fingers with the bass. That's been pretty difficult for me. Um, I, as I said the other night in one of the videos, with one finger I'm okay, but that's not going to get you very far. And we all kind of know that. But I'm working on it. It's really tough. I'm trying to learn that walking pattern of boom, 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 you know. Trying to figure that one out. It's kind of tough. I lose track of one hand or the other, you know. If I really start paying attention to my fingers and first finger, second finger, first finger, second finger as the notes go by, will lose track of my fretboard hand of the left hand. So something I'm working on. It's difficult, you know, and I think it all is. All of it. Doesn't matter what part of playing the music you're talking about. It's going to be difficult to learn. Um, but that's where I am. We talked about that a little bit. Did a lot of chord work this week. I took a guitar, not a bass this week. We did a lot of chord work. That's definitely something that I need to do more of in order to kind of get over that hump with the guitar. And that I'm getting fairly decent with single note melody type of stuff. It's working better for me. Having a much better outcome with it. Getting further and further, being able to play harder and harder things. My chords are not there, you know. My chord changes aren't fast. They're not smooth. I'm trying to get there, and that's part of what lessons and practice was tonight. You know, it's kind of the one time of the week where I can say to somebody, "Hey, you know, basically, I would like you to force me to play chords for an hour and practice what I need to be practicing in terms of the chord playing." So that's kind of what we were working on tonight, and it was helpful, super helpful. But as I've said before, Ross is a fantastic teacher. He keeps me interested, keeps making. He's real good about making sure that I'm playing stuff that I want to play, that I like to play. And he and I have had this conversation before. I don't guess I probably haven't had it on the channel. When I was a youngster, I took piano lessons, as did a lot of kids in the town where I grew up. It was a pretty small town, middle of nowhere. And a lot of kids in town took lessons from the same lady, and she was a great teacher. Don't get me wrong; she was really good at teaching piano lessons to kids and probably adults. I don't know. Anyhow, the drawback, what the drawback to it in my eyes, especially as an adult, as you look back on it, she didn't teach me what I wanted to play. She wanted me to learn Bach and Beethoven and, real music, I get, classical stuff, real hard to play, real complicated stuff. And it didn't keep a 9-year-old kid from nowhere, Missouri, interested, if she would have been teaching me, the current Merle Haggard tune, I loved it, and I'd have probably kept on playing. Not how it worked out. Anyway, Ross and I have had that conversation that part of teaching somebody is being able to keep them motivated by playing what they want to play, not forcing yourself to do these rigorous exercises and I have to do this for 45 minutes before I even try to play a tune tonight. No, if you want to do that to yourself, go for it. I don't think it's necessarily the best idea. I think that may turn into a pretty good way to stop playing and not be interested anymore. You can tell I'm trying to kind of figure out the mic position to not get the hot pop from the P's. Maybe I'm getting it right by coming from the side. I'll ask around at anybody that might have watched. Hey, look at that. Looks like we got us a viewer. Wasn't expecting that at all, but hey, we got a viewer. Welcome to you. Just because, let's check out and see maybe if see if I can figure out how to get to some sort of live chat. I know there's a way to do it, but don't really know. I'm trying to navigate to it as I'm talking to you, so kind of, again, as per usual as these videos of mine, I'm watching both screens. So it's trying to load up when a computer is slower than Christmas. That don't help. Anyhow, so yeah, remaining interested in what you're playing is a huge part of it, and we all understand, everybody that's trying to learn, or we understand that, everybody that has learned, everybody trying to learn. Those of you out there that are thinking about learning, that want to start learning, you can try to make yourself do these harder exercises consistently. Consistently is a good idea. Personally, I think 5-10 minutes a day with most of that stuff probably is super helpful. I also think if you're going to do 5 or 10 minutes of that a day, you should probably do 10 to 15 minutes of what you want to play, playing something fun. You don't want to make it, you don't want it to seem like work. There's certainly some times since I've started that maybe felt a little bit like work while I was doing them. There was nights where I just really wasn't into it all that much, but I gave it my 10 or 15 minutes. Those are the kind of nights where that was really just me saying, I want to get better at this. I want to play better. I want to be able to play more songs on my own, so to speak, without the backing tracks. And that is part of the chord work and the chord progressions that I was working on, and proper finger positioning, like I'm with the bass on your fret hand, and using your fingers with your right hand, and playing with your fingers. They're all things that you gotta get better at. They're gonna take time and they're work, and they're not nearly as fun as just banging out heavy metal tunes. But it needs to be done if you're really want to advance and get better, and I do. I think the idea of you guys watching me get a little better over the next couple of years is pretty cool. Hopefully maybe soon enough we'll stop being the home of the crappy cover, but for now I think home of the crappy cover is going to stick. They're not the greatest of things, but I'm trying. And that's the whole point of the channel. For anybody watching, anybody that comes across this, that's the whole point. It's just go for it, man. Have some fun. Learning how to play music has been the best choice I've made in a long time. Boy, howdy, let me tell you, have I made some bad decisions over the years. Music is not one of them. Playing music and learning music, and it's the best thing I've ever done. There's so much that a guy can gain from it. All kinds of insight into life, enjoyment. You feel good about yourself when you get something done. Anybody that watched the Cyndi Lauper cover tune of Time After Time, you saw that was a true reaction of mine when I hit that phrase basically for the first time ever and got it correct, and it was on camera, and that was, to me, really, really cool. I felt so good just to get it right, even though I got it wrong 4 times in that song prior, but on the way out the door I hit it and got it just right on the way out the door. Now, I've played that song a couple times since then and have missed it most, but I've gotten it a couple other times. I have yet to make it all the way through that tune and hit that specific phrase every time. That's a goal, obviously, to say, hey, I want you to do this and get it to happen. Because it's been working better than I thought it would in terms of fret ability and picking ability. My picking certainly needs to be worked on. That's another one where the chord changes are going to come in handy for me, because I still, varying my pick speeds and styles and things like that, I'm not quite there. The ability to improvise, I haven't really developed that yet. I'm working on that. That's part of wanting to get these chord changes right, so you can just kind of play chords and figure out what works together and try different patterns with your pick style. They kind of obviously they all tie together, and so that's kind of what my lesson was tonight. It was good. I mean, I always have fun at lessons. Even when I walk in, I'm kind of like, oh, dude, I should have called off on this one. By the end of it, I'm like, good gravy, really? It's time to split? Man, I wasn't ready for that. So, they're super helpful. If you can find your way into a place with lessons, I highly recommend it. As I said, I'm using Musician, and it's a really helpful app. It has kept me motivated because it does offer tunes that I want to play. It offers tunes that I've known most of my life, or at least the last 10, 15, 20 years, and they're songs I want to play, that I'm interested in playing and learning. What I'm beginning to realize with Musician, and this is not in any way a drag or a knock on the app or the company or anything like that. It is a fantastic thing. Again, they are no sponsors of mine. They do not have anything at all to do with this show. They just happen to be the app that I use. So hopefully it's okay for me to say that. I think it kind of, I'm relatively certain it is. So they're the app. That's the app that I use. And what I'm realizing is, if I don't have that turned on and in front of me, I'm even way worse than what you guys have seen on camera. Pardon me, I don't have a dump button or a cough button or any of that stuff yet. I'm not that I'm not that cool. Um, so yeah, as it's something that needs to be worked on. Um, I just kind of lost it. Anyway, it's, learning those things is tough. It's been enjoyment. It's been a huge enjoyment for me, and I'm going to keep doing it. Learning the fingers is pretty difficult. So if you're out there watching and you have some ideas, drills, practice methods that you use, I personally will put a bass. Hey, let me just grab a bass and do this kind of visually. Hang on 1 second, guys. All right. So, obviously, the professionalism abounds with this one. Again, from the High Desert Music Channel, we just bring you the best in music entertainment. Okay, so maybe you guys know or don't know the spider exercise. It's kind of hard to get this in the camera. There you go. So right now, I'm just trying to show you the fret hand. So, the spider exercise, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 1 finger per fret. So I'll work those all 4 strings up, all down, and then back up. And what I'm doing right now to try and get my right hand to play with fingers is I'm trying to concentrate on first finger, second finger, first finger, second finger, first finger, second finger. So something like that, right? Like standard stuff, man, the way everybody kind of learns. So I'm arguing with that right now. And again, that's part of what's driving me to do this, is that I'm starting to realize that musician will teach you a lot of stuff, but it doesn't entirely teach you how to play. At least at my level, okay, on musician. Now I have hours and hundreds. I believe I'm close to 300 hours between guitar and bass with musician over the last 8 months or so. So I mean, I've spent quite a bit of time, but I haven't spent a lot of that time on their classes. So I'm kind of right in the middle of their classes in terms of my quote-unquote level. Now, so in order to kind of get over that, that's part of Ross and I in class working on a lot of fingering techniques, a lot of picking techniques, knowing the chords, knowing the scales on the bass. It's more knowing the scales, obviously, so that you know what notes are going to work, and you can find your way up and down the board and play something that makes sense. In order to help me with that, I have a moldy oldie Line 6 JM4 pedal, like loop station. It's a big old monster. It's like 10, 12 years old. I've had this argument multiple times with one of my buddies at the guitar store. At one point, I had a Boss RC5, brand new, I like the Line 6 JM4 better. It offers something to me at my level of play, my skill sets. It offers something different. The Line 6 JM4 has actual backing tracks. Now, they're digital sounding. They're not amazingly clean and beautiful music, but it's an actual song. There's a guitar track, there's a bass track, there's a drum track, and it's a song. For me, personally, at my level and my abilities, it's a whole lot easier for me to improvise and kind of find my way around the fretboard and play things that work for me. Also, the line 6, when you pick a tune, it tells you what key that it's in. And I don't recall, to be 100% honest, I don't recall if the Boss RC5 does that or not. If you do know that, throw it in the comments. Love to see it. Sorry guys, I'm kind of looking back at the channel here so that I can figure out where I get to see my live stream and stuff on so I can see the live chat, if indeed there is a live chat going on right now. I'm obviously still working on this one. But anyway, excuse me. So, totally lost it. Totally got sidetracked with that one. Well, it shows that we're live. It shows that we got one watching. Now I think I might have found my way to where I wanted to go and find the live chat part. We'll see. Okay. Okay, I do have a live chat panel that I can check out now. For the one, for our one viewer, hello out there in TV land. So, yeah, like I said, man, it was a week. We've all had them. You know, wasn't my favorite thing in the world. I did a lot of stuff that was just not my favorite thing in the world. It wasn't on the plan for this week. You know, in the end, it was fine. Things worked out. I just didn't get to practice as much as I wanted. Week's not over. You know, a couple of days before I really got to get back into doing something specific for other people, i.e. work. So, in that time, rest assured, you are going to get plenty more crappy covers. They're going to be flowing out of the bedroom studio this weekend. I'll get you covered, don't you worry. We'll pick out some other stuff. Seems like if I get right up on top of this mic, I kind of lose the homey, echoey kind of sound. Then it's awful hard to not hear me breathing while I'm talking to you. So who knows how we need to work on these things. That's another part of the thing this weekend. We're going to work on that. I'm going to try and smooth out some of these bumps. Hopefully this one's coming out in stereo. Again, if you're watching and you're checking us out, let me know in that live chat, if you could, is this coming out in stereo or is this coming out in mono? I've been having some issues with that, trying to figure that one out. So, you know, these are all things I'm going to try to get through this weekend, but I'm definitely going to get you some more crappy covers out. We're definitely going to try and, you know, add to the pile of fun here at High Desert Music Channel. The old boy wasn't at the dog park today. I didn't get nothing out of him today. So maybe tomorrow we'll get another dog park story. I know some folks like them dog park stories. Generally, I like them too. Well, you know, if you don't like a dog park story, you might need to talk to somebody about that. I don't know. So if you got something you want to hear, a specific tune, let me know. If I know it, boy howdy, I'll play it for you. If I don't, well, maybe I'll try and learn it. Gonna go a new route. So roll back a minute here to we were talking earlier about trying to be able to play without the Musician app. That's, I really would like to get to a point where I can, and I'm going to do it, that's part of my homework, quote unquote, this week for Roscoe, is to kind of learn how to read tabs. Not tabs in because I kind of know how to read tabs, but how to look up chords, understand what it means, and play that song on a guitar, and also in terms of a bass to just read the tab in a book or something, and not follow the bouncing ball, and kind of have to figure out yourself the beat, the beat and the rhythm. I think those things would be pretty helpful in terms of learning how to be a better player, a more solid all-around player. Certainly at some point, I'm gonna want to scratch the itch and make an idiot of myself on a stage with another group of guys to kind of cover up my crappy playing. Group of people, whatever, guys, girls, whatever. I don't care about that shit. Anyhow, you know what I mean. A group of people playing some music on stage for other folks. At some point, I'd like to be able to do that. That seems pretty cool. Seemed pretty cool my whole life. So that's part of what I'm trying to learn. That's the whole point of the channel. For everybody out there that's in my spot, that's doing the same thing. Whether you waited too many years like I did, whether you're 15 years old and have the whole world in front of you and all the time in your life to learn. Now's the time. Pick up your guitar, pick up your bass, get to it. There's no reason to not. I simply can't think of a reason not to. Best thing I've ever done. And, it really is. So keep your eyes out over the rest of the weekend. I am definitely going to try and get some more crappy covers out for you. We will maybe even put some stuff in that you're not expecting. Who knows? We'll see. We're going to get some guitar covers. We'll do some electric guitar. Maybe we'll do a couple more acoustic bass covers. Some electric guitar covers. Maybe I'll jack around and try to close mic the small cabinet for the bass and the Spark cabinet for the guitar, and try to close mic that and see maybe if I can't get a better sound out of that. We'll try a few things. I don't know. Again, I'm just trying to work all this out and make a mix of better quality things, work with some lower quality stuff. So we're going to try to figure some of that out. And we'll get you some more music this weekend for sure. We'll gladly dance around up here and play some mediocre music. And like I said, maybe we get lucky. We get us a new dog park story. I don't know. That old boy, he kind of comes and goes. I could tell you some stories that don't have nothing to do with music and that old boy, but we don't need to. That's a different channel, different time. So, anyhow, I really appreciate you coming by and checking out the show, both of you. Yeah. So, there's a good chance I come back on here in a little while. At this point in the evening, I'm starting to get a little hungry. Haven't quite gotten around to that after lessons. That crazy hound dog got his supper. I didn't get none yet. But that's, that's all right. He's the one that matters more. Anyhow, we're going to continue to work on finger technique. I'll continue to work on my picking styles, my picking speed, variation technique, all that stuff. You'll get to see it here on the show. We're going to try to make this Friday night a pretty consistent thing. I think we're going to start shooting for about an 8:30 time slot. Wanted to do 8. It's a little tight by the time I get home from lessons, and at least while I'm doing this from a bedroom studio, I got to drag everything out, set everything up. So probably 8:30, but we're going to do these little live shows every Friday night. So keep that in mind. Keep an eye on it. And keep watching. Thank you for coming. Thank you for checking out the channel. We really appreciate it. Like the videos. Subscribe to the channel. Leave us a comment, good, bad, or otherwise. We'd sure love to hear it. Yeah, and keep an eye out. We're gonna have some crappy covers and mediocre music coming your way this weekend on High Desert Music. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good evening.